Welcome to Swasthya program. So next session, session name Ayush Practices of Food, Nutrition and Millets. My name is Dr. Suchita, Chief Consultant of Arogyavardhini Ayurvedic Hospital. So today is for the session chairperson is Dr. Sujata ma'am. I would like to call up on the stage ma'am, please. Yeah, ma'am, Dr. Sujata ma'am is presently working as the associate at PG specialization in Prasuti and Sriroga from BHU, MS in Varanasi. Also diploma in yoga practices for better living at Center for Yoga BHU Varanasi, and anesthesia orientation training from Warangal MGM Hospital. Next. 22 years teaching experience in the Department of Prasuti and Sriroga. Presented 16 papers in national and seminars. Served as a resource person for 8 workshops and 6 road programs. And participated in several workshops and seminars. And gave the shows and radio and many television programs on women health awareness. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming. And next, our Tangana General Secretary, and he is the Director of Sri Veda Ayurveda Hospital, and he completed BMS and PG from BRKR College, and he actively participated in so many social activities and developmental programs. Thank you, sir, for coming. And next, our keynote speaker, Dr. Venkateshwarlu. Sir, please come on the dais. Sir has completed UG and PG from BRKR Government College, and he is practicing on proctology since 2010. He has a own hospital of Doctors Sarajas Ayurvedic Anorectal Hospital, so which is located in Kukatpalli. So thank you. So today's session is on Ayush practices of food, nutrition and millets. As Ayurveda says, the ahara, nidra and brahmacharya, these are the traya upastambhas for our body. So in that upastambhas, ahara is one of that. So for better life and better ahara also very important, as Ayurveda says that ahara shuddhi is sattva shuddhi. So how much the healthy food if we taken, our mind also in that way, and because of ahara only our body will maintain and will be formed. So healthy food is very important to maintain our life. So today's session, before starting, I would like to call our keynote speaker, Dr. Venkateshwarlu. Please start the session.
Completed my post-graduation in MS Shalyatantra in 2010. So I have started my practice since 2012. So here my topic is, next slide. Next slide please. Integration. So it is completely different from, my topic is completely different from this session actually. So here as a fraternity, Shalya fraternity, I want to show some of the what we are doing in our clinics. As Ayurvedic surgeon, how we are integrating the modern system like laser, cautery machines and video rectoscopes and some surgical advancements, how we are using in our Ayurvedic proctology. So we all know that Sushruta was an ancient Indian surgeon, 6th century BC, and he is the author of the book Sushruta Samhita. He describes almost over 120 surgical instruments and 300 surgical procedures, and classifies human surgery in 8 categories like ophthalmology, dentistry, like that. He mentioned almost in 8 categories of surgical procedures. Next slide. Like he mentioned Astavida Shastra Karmas, rhinoplasty, cosmetic surgery. I used to take the skin from the forehead and used to operate the nasal injuries. That is called rhinoplasty. That is a cosmetic surgery. That's why we can call him as the father of plastic surgery. Human anatomy. I did many dissections like organs and everything. Then Next, Yogya Sutriyam. He mentioned about all like how to do all practice the Astavida Sastra Karma, Chedya, Bedya, Lekya, Esha, Ahara, and models. Next. So here, why we need integration? Because in Ayurveda surgery, Susruta explained lot of Ayurveda surgical principles, but in present era, it is very difficult to establish and difficult to practice those surgical principles in our system. So we need integration. By integration, definitely by using Ayurveda principles, by using some modern limelight, definitely we can cure the disease very well. Next slide, please. So here integration in many levels. For example, preoperative level. In preoperative, first thing is the sterilization and diagnostics. Next slide. In sterilization, Ayurveda recommends fumigation and Agni Tapana. It is very difficult in nowadays, very difficult to do the Dhupana procedures in our OT and difficult to do the Agni Tapana for the instruments. So if you use this type of procedure, definitely you get the rust to the instruments and loss of sharpness to the instruments. So instead of that, if you use other things, next slide, like autoclave, fumigator, parasafe. Here autoclave is, we can do all like bins, we can use some surgical pads and OT gowns and everything we can do sterilization by using the autoclave. And fumigator, by using this fumigator we can sterilize our OTs, operation theaters. And parasafe is it's a powder form. By using this parasafe we can sterilize the instrument in 5 minutes. By our all surgical instruments, knives, like all Alice forceps, tissue holding forceps, scalpels, all these things we can keep these instruments in that solution. Automatically we can get in sterilization in 5 minutes. No need to do boiling and everything. Boiling will causes the rust formation and we can there is a chance of damage to the instrument. Next. What are the diagnostics tools? Video rectoscopy, 3D perianal scan, MRI and blood investigations. Exclusively for Ayurvedic proctology. Now I am talking exclusively for the Ayurvedic proctology, not in general aspect. So here in our practice we are using video rectoscope. It is a very diagnostic, very important diagnostic tool. With that instrument, without any preparation, we can do proper diagnosis. Next slide please. So this is a video rectoscope. With that instrument we can see inside the anal canal. So here we are seeing almost grade 3 hemorrhoids in 4K in high definition. So for this procedure no need to get any preparation, like for the colonoscopy they used to give some enemas and everything. For here no need to give an enema. In the OPD base only we can do proper diagnosis. So by using this proctoscope, definitely we can convince the patient, we can diagnose it accurately. And previously we used to have proctoscopes. Because of only simple proctoscope, we can't see it very clearly, because with the proctoscope we can see only 2 centimeters to 3 centimeters of the anal canal. Whatever the rectum, if patient is having any rectal abnormalities, any rectal pathologies, we will miss. So this diagnostic tool is very important for exclusively for the Ayurvedic surgeons. Next. Previous slide. So this is one of the MRI image for fistulas. So here if you see, so these are the sphincters, that is the sacrum and coccyx. So these are how the track is going on. In the first image if you see, the external opening is at 7 o'clock position. The track is going towards the 6 o'clock position by crossing the external sphincter at the level of 7 o'clock. So by just seeing this image you can easily diagnose it, how fistula is going, how complex it is, how much sphincter is involved in this. So this MRI fistulogram will give you proper diagnosis of the fistula, means whether it's grade 1 fistula, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Based on the MRI imaging, we can correctly plan the treatment also. Next. Operative. In operative session, so first we have to think about the anesthesia, surgical tools and surgical procedure. Next. Anesthesia. So we all know that it plays a very crucial role in the surgical process. So nowadays we are using septo blocks because in Ayurveda we don't have any proper Ayurvedic anesthesia drugs. It's very difficult. Previously they used to give some surapanakam and they used to do procedures, but it's very difficult to do nowadays by using all these things. Okay, so here in the minimized manner we are using the septo block. It's a modified pudendal block by using lignocaine, bupivacaine, ropivacaine. So with the some dilutions, by using these drugs we are doing this modified pudendal blocks. With this block we can do procedure in half an hour to 30 minutes, half an hour to 45 minutes. Patient can go home in 1 hour. No need to get any hospitalization, no bed rest, nothing. And complications also very minimal. Even with this procedure, even we do 3 hemorrhoidectomies, even complicated fistula procedures also. Surgical tools. So different type of surgical tools we are using. These are big proctoscope, chivote speculums, cauteries and laser machines, and different suture materials and light sources. So these are the things we are using in our regular practice. Next. So these are all the different proctoscopes based on the size and based on the diseased condition. We use different type of proctoscopes. Next. So these are all our instruments, machines. If you see, that's the laser machine, different type of pulse oximeters, cautery machine and light sources. So these are all very important because by just completing the Shalya Tantra, coming out and practicing is by using only Ayurveda principles is very difficult because it is not a government, we have to practice in the private side, no, to have to treat the people very carefully. So if you do without any proper all these things, and patient will get the lot of complication and you will get the less patients also. Surgical procedures. Coming to the arches, hemorrhoids. So nowadays we are doing different type of procedures for the arches, for the hemorrhoids. So in Ayurveda they have explained Chaturvido Arshasam Sadhanopaya Beshaja Kshara Agni Shastramiti. So for the Beshaja we use for the first grade and grade 2 hemorrhoids. So we can manage with oral medications. Coming to the Kshara Karma. So Kshara Karma means it's a herbal alchemy. Okay, here we will apply the Kshara over the hemorrhoid directly. Next slide. If you see here, so that is the hemorrhoid. So the white color material is the Kshara, which is the alkaline material which is prepared from the Ayurvedic herbal drugs. So after application within 1 or 2 minutes, if you see in that slide, so that completely turned into black. So completely necrotized. Even immediately after 2 minutes, that is completely necrotized. Next. So these are post-operative images. After 21 days, if you see there, that white color tissue, actually that is the pile mass place, that is the hemorrhoidal place, that is completely necrotized by the Kshara. Then after that turned into fibrosis. That white color material is the fibrosis. So that is the advantage of the Kshara Karma. In this we can do this procedure under local anesthesia, no need to get any hospitalization. Patient can go home in 1 hour. So after 21 days, if you see with this rectoscope, you can clearly see the results. Next. So for better results, now I am saying integration. The only Kshara Karma is not at all useful. Okay, you need some other procedure. So that is the integration. So here we are integrating some other procedure that is called mucopexy plus Kshara Karma. Because in Kshara Karma, after application, patient may get bleeding in 3rd or 4th day. In some cases there is a chance of severe bleeding. So for that condition, to reduce that such type of complication, now we are doing this mucopexy. Mucopexy means in the B image, if you see, we will ligate the hemorrhoidal artery. At that level, if you ligate the hemorrhoidal artery, so there is no chance of blood circulation to the hemorrhoid. And if you after application of Kshara over the hemorrhoid also, if it is shed off also, you won't get that much of bleed, and there is no chance of complications also. And because of application of that mucopexy over the hemorrhoid, so that anchors the mucosa to the submucosal level, and there is no chance of prolapse and no chance of recurrence also. So this is the integration. Next. So laser hemorrhoidoplasty. Don't think that it's a laser pile surgery means it's a allopathy. It's in arches. Next. Fissure in ano. Fissure means it's a linear cut in the anal verge. Because of hard stool, patient will get severe pain and burning sensation while passing stool. If you examine that person, you can see the linear cut in the anal region. Generally, we have two types of fissures, acute fissures and chronic fissures. Acute fissures we can manage with some oral medications like by using Deepana, Pachana, Rechana and Vatanlomna. By using these principles, if you give any Ayurvedic medication, we can treat it nicely. But in chronic fissure condition, because of spasm of the sphincter and because of that skin tag and anal polyp, it is very difficult to treat with oral medication. So in such condition, we need some type of procedure. Next slide. So treatments in acute fissure, oral medications, Matra Vasti. So Matra is also helpful, means it reduces the sphincter spasm. In chronic cases, you need sphincter relaxation. We have to relax the sphincter. Then only we get the good circulation to the fissure bed, the fissure will heal. So how we relax the anus? Already with the Matra Vasti, we are not getting any relief. So how we have to do the procedure? So by using laser or scalpel, we can do laser sphincterotomy or laser sphincterolysis. So by this procedure, we can relax the anus, we can get the circulation to the fissure bed automatically, fissure will heal, and with that laser only we can remove that tag and that anal polyp also. Next slide. So this is anal sphincterotomy. Here the blade is at the intersphincteric space. The cutting procedure is towards the internal sphincter. So because of that procedure, patient will get relaxation of the internal sphincter, leads to circulation, increase the circulation to the fissure bed. So this is the laser sphincterotomy. So that is a scalpel procedure. This is a sphincterotomy with laser. Next slide. Coming to the fistula. So in our Ayurveda, the fistula is having lot of importance because still now, because we have attended many workshops like fistulotomy, laser workshops and rectal advancement flap. We have seen many techniques also, but still the Kshara Sutra is having a lot of importance, and definitely I can say that 100% we can get the best results from the Kshara Sutra. So this is the fistula and ano. Fistula means it is a communicating tract in between the two epithelial surfaces. One is outside the anus, means at the buttock region. One is inside the mucosa, rectal mucosa. Next. So here first we will discuss about the Kshara Sutra. So Kshara Sutra therapy is an old age safe procedure and a simple minimal invasive technique. Helps in the cutting and healing of the fistula tract, thereby minimizing the rate of recurrence and incontinence. But the thing is, if tract length is very high, for example, if it is a 8 centimeter tract, 10 centimeters tract, it is very difficult to do the procedure. It takes lot of time. For example, in this case, if you see that external opening is at almost at the 2 o'clock position, internal opening at 6 o'clock position. So it is a curved tract. In this fistula, it is very difficult to do simple classical Kshara Sutra technique. In this, we have to modify it. Otherwise, patient very difficult. Means it takes at least 6 to 8 months. In this era, it is very difficult to do such time. Next. So, though the Kshara Sutra technique is effective in management of fistula and ano, but the longer duration of the treatment due to slow cutting and healing process makes the treatment difficult. So we have to integrate it in this. See, for example, this patient is having external opening at almost at the subscrotal region, and this patient is having right and left side. Means there is a horseshoe fistula, this is a subscrotal fistula. In this case, only simple Kshara Sutra treatment is not at all useful. So in this, we have to do some hybrid procedure. Next. So these are all complex fistulas. These scrotal extensions, the gluteal extensions, multiple extensions. So almost these are all very complex fistulas. In these cases, it is very difficult to do with simple Kshara Sutra. Next. Next. So how we are doing hybrid treatments? So partial fistulectomy and Kshara Sutra. So if patient is having external opening at the scrotal region, so up to the sphincter, we can remove the tract, means that part is completely the fatty tissue. So you can remove the whatever the partial tract is there, we can remove up to the sphincter. The remaining part you can apply the Kshara Sutra. By this procedure, we can reduce the time and we can improve the drainage and we can heal the tract within 6 weeks. That is the advantage of the procedure. This is called partial fistulectomy and Kshara Sutra. For the partial fistulectomy, you can use laser or cautery or any blade also you can use to do the partial fistulectomy. Next. See, this is also one of the case, partial fistulectomy. Generally, if you apply the Kshara Sutra from this place to anus, it takes at least 6 months. So instead of that, we have removed almost 70% of the tract up to the sphincter. The remaining, whatever the sphincter part is there, we have applied the Kshara Sutra. If you see in the third image that whatever the partial fistulectomy wound is, that is healing very nicely, and we are changing thread every week. This is completely after the treatment. So this case also we have treated in 8 weeks. So that is the advantage of the procedure. Next. So but in some cases it is very difficult. For example, if it is going very deep, if you want to do partial fistulectomy also, there is a chance of damage to the complete ischiorrectal fossa. In such cases, still we are doing some other techniques. Next. This is also one more case. For example, this is a subscrotal extension. In that case also we have done partial fistulectomy, but the thing is that is completely almost, patient developed very big wound, but while healing it is healed nicely. But to reduce that big cut also, we have adopted one more procedure. Next slide. This is called IFTAC. IFTAC means interception of fistulous tract and application of Kshara Sutra. For example, here the patient is having extension at the scrotal region, internal opening at the 12 o'clock position at the dentate line. So instead of cutting the total subscrotal paste, we have created a window just above the anal region. We have applied a Kshara Sutra there. We have intercepted that at that level. Within 6 weeks, without any proper big damage and without any big scar, the patient treated very nicely by using this technique. So this is the advantage of the IFTAC. Next. This is also one more procedure. See, if you see that here 3 o'clock position, there is a small opening. So instead of applying the Kshara Sutra from 3 o'clock to 12 o'clock position, just we have created a window. In the second image, if you see, so we are seeing the probe. So just applied the Kshara Sutra very near to the anal region. So we have not treated any this 3 o'clock opening. So within like 4 weeks, it's completely healed without any big scar. So these are all the advantage of the using hybrid techniques like partial fistulectomy, Kshara Sutra, IFTAC, Tropis. Like that we have different modalities. So by using basic principles of Ayurveda and by using some modern surgical approaches, if you do this Ayurvedic proctology, means Ayurvedic surgeries, definitely will get the good results. We get good patients also. Thank you.
One important announcement. We have a special program of Swasthya Nari, which is Women's Health and Wellness Awareness Program at 6 o'clock in Plenary Hall. For this event, our honorable guest will be our Governor, Srimati Soundararajan Tamilisai. So, I request you all to be at Plenary Hall by 6 o'clock after this session. Thank you.
So now paper presentation, one and only person is there. So she is Divya Bharati. The presentation topic is on millet eat.
Good evening to everyone. Myself, Dr. Divya Bharati, doing post-graduation in Kai Chikitsa from Dr. NRS GSC, Vijayawada. Today I want to present a few points about millets. So, millets like eat. Coming to introduction part, Ayurveda has a unique role in prevention of disease as well as treatment of disease by Ahara Vihara. In fact, Ayurveda is based on Trayo Upastambhas. We know Swapna Ahara Brahmacharya-miti Trayo Upastambhaha, and Acharya Charaka has described 12 types of Ahara in Annapana Vidhi Adhyaya 28th chapter Charaka Sutra Sthana, that is Parmato Varga Sangrahena Ahara Dravyanyan Vyakhyasyaamaha Sukadhanya Semidhanya Mamsachaka Falasrayan Vargan Harita Madhyambu God Asekshu Vikarikan Dasadvau Chaparo Vargo Kruta Nahara Yoginam Rasa Virya Vipakaischa Prabhavaischa Prachakshmahe. Next, Ayurveda explained millets in detail under Dhanya Varga. Millets have been given many synonyms like Kudhanya, Kshudradhanya and Trunadhanya. Next. Introduction. Millets are grown as cereal crops or grains worldwide. They are highly variable small seeded grass. In addition, they have a high nutritional content. Nutritionists believe that millets are many times better than wheat or rice in their nutritional properties. Millets are rich in iron, zinc, calcium, potassium, magnesium, vitamins and proteins. They are usually tiny in size and have a round shape. Furthermore, different millets boost various nutrients sufficient for a developing human body. Next slide. Coming to Syamaka. Name: Echinoclea frumentaceae, family Graminae or Poaceae, Hindi Samba, and Telugu Odlu or Odalu, and synonyms Syamaka, Syamaka, and Syama, Trivisa, Avipriya, Sukumara, Rajadhanya, Trunat, Vijottama. Properties: Syamaka is sweet, unctuous, astringent, light and cooling. It aggravates Vata and quells Kapha and Pitta disorders. It is constipative and alleviates the disorders of poisons. Next slide. Coming to Kodrava. Family Graminae Poaceae and Hindi Kodam, Telugu Arikelu. English Kodo millets. Synonyms: Kodrava, Koradusha, Kuddala, Madanagraja. Properties: Kodrava is sweet, bitter and wholesome for the wounded persons. It alleviates Kapha and Pitta. Dry and increases Vata. It is heavy and intoxicating. Shodal Niguntu said that scraping lakana property and easily digestible, cold in touch, elevating Rakta Pitta, binding feces and urine, dry cold. Coming to Varaka. Family Graminae Poaceae, Hindi China, Chinaka, Telugu Varigelu. English Indian millets or little millets. Synonyms: Varaka, Stula Kangu, Ruksha, Stula Priyanguka. Properties: Varaka is considered as a variety of Kangu or Kanguni. This is sweet, dry, astringent and causes Vata and Pitta to aggravate. Coming to Kanguni. That is Setaria italica, Hindi Kanguni, Telugu Koralu. English foxtail millet. Synonyms: Kanguni, Chinaka, Pita Tandula, Sukumara, Vatala. Properties: this increases Vata and quells Pitta and burning sensations. It is dry and good for uniting the fractures. It is sweet, appetizer, astringent, tasty and cooling. Shodal Nigantu said that Union promoter reducing urine and feces, nourishing, hardly digestible, mitigating Kapha and Pitta, Pittagna and Sita. Next slide. Nivara. Hygroiza aristata, Graminae family and Hindi Teeni, Telugu Nivara Vattu. English Bengal wild rice. Properties: the Nivara is also known as Aranya Dhanya, Muni Dhanya, Trunodbhava. It is sweet, unctuous, wholesome and light. Shodal Nigantu said that cold, scarifying Lekhana Karma and Pitta Hara and Laghu in nature and sweet in taste. And coming to Ragi. We know Ragulu, Graminae family and Mandula in Hindi. English finger millets and synonyms: Bahudala Kanisha. We know Ragi tu Lanchanaha, Bahudala Kanishascha, Guscha Kanishascha, Tikta Madhura Kashayaha and Sitaha Pittastra Nashino Bhavanti. And properties, I said bitter and sweet and astringent and cooling. Sita and it quells Rakta Pitta or bleeding tendencies and it is strength giving. Millets in India. India is the leading producer and consumer of millet crops and their products. The people in arid and semi-arid regions of the country grow and consume millets as a staple food. Grain and fodder yielding dual purpose. Millets are grown basically to ensure food and fodder security in the rain-fed agriculture. Next slide. Indian during the times of Muhammad bin Tughlaq recorded that Kodo millet was the commonest grain. Kautilya's Ardhasastra says Kodrava and Priyangu will increase 3 times in the original quantity when cooked, and grains will increase twice the original quantity. Next slide. Millets are eco-friendly crops. These are called eco-friendly crops due to their lower requirement of water, chemicals and management interventions for raising the crops. Besides, some millets can come up in marginal lands and harsh weather conditions where no other crop can grow. In India, pearl millet comes up well in the hot weather of Rajasthan. Sorghum yields a valuable crop in the next slide. Millets are smart foods also. In this era, explosion availability of superfoods, the millets have a unique standing. Good for the consumer. They can help overcome some of the biggest nutritional and health problems: iron, zinc, folic acid, calcium, diabetes, and more. Good for the planet. They have a low water footprint, are able to survive in the hottest, driest climates, and will be important in coping with the climate change. And good for the farmer. Can increase yields up to threefold, have multiple uses: food, fodder, fuel, and are typically the last crop standing in times of drought. Being next slide. Millets versus rice. Rice is a good source of carbohydrates and easy to digest for everyone. USDA data provides the macronutrient, vitamins and mineral profile of cooked rice. 100 grams of cooked rice offers energy, 130 kilocalories, protein 2.69, fat, carbohydrates, vice versa, and rice lacks vitamins like vitamin B12, vitamin A and vitamin K, essential for a child's overall development. Coming to nutritional composition of millets, according to USDA, below mentioned is the profile. 100 grams of cooked millets offer energy 119 kilocalories, protein 3.51 grams, and fat 1 grams, and fiber 1.3, and zinc 0.91 mg, and iron 0.63 mg. Next slide. This is the slide shows how many nutrients in that those millets. Thank you for listening.
You. Next, Shweta Tanwar. So topic is on food sciences in Ayurveda, the Indian system of medicine.
Myself, Dr. Shweta Tanwar, PG Scholar, Kriya Shari Department, All India Institute of Ayurveda. Topic for my presentation is Food Sciences in Ayurveda for a Sustainable Eating under the guidance of a Dr. Kalpana Sathi ma'am, Professor and a HOD Department of Kriya Shari, Ayya, Goa. Next slide. What do you usually eat when you are feeling hungry? Grab a pack of chips, gulp down a can of a soda, or rush to your favorite dosa point. If your answer is yes, then you are among the millions who have fallen a victim of a modern diet. The global problem of consuming an unhealthy diet and the impact on a human health need to be emphasized, which can greatly contribute to our switching over to our healthy eating habits. The Indian food traditions are rooted in our social customs, and these food customs are backed by a scientific logic. So let's dive in. Next slide. Ailments like obesity, diabetes, cardiac problems, and arthritis have seen a profound rise, and faulty eating habits, processed food are the notable factors to its contribution. So the present review of this study is to strengthen the knowledge regarding the healthy eating habits. Next slide, please. Design of the study. Classical literature, contemporary books, and available research articles from our indexed journals are reviewed. The first one is a prayer and an offering to a food. So, before consuming a food, this mantra from a Bhagavad Gita is chanted. Brahma arpanam brahm havi, brahma agno brahmana hutam, brahma evtena gantavyam, brahma karma samadhina. In a Hindu culture, food is offered to the deity as a part of a worship ritual before consuming it. It is believed that a prayer cleanses the food of the 3 impurities that are caused due to absence of the cleanliness of the vessel, cleanliness of the foodstuff, and the cleanliness of the process of making a food. Next slide, please. Next is eating with the hands. So eating with the hands stimulates the 5 elements that are present in it, that is a fire, air, space, earth, and water. So these 5 elements, when stimulated, they bring forth the digestive juices in the stomach. When we touch our food, with fingers, the nerve endings present in the fingers send signals immediately to the brain. And we all know that there is a brain-gut axis, and the brain sends a signal to the digestive tract to prepare for the process of a digestion by release of various digestive enzymes and the juices. Next slide, please. Food is classified into three types, that is a sattvic, rajasic and the tamasic. Sattvic food maintains a balance that is beneficial to the body and the mind. Sattvic food brings a happiness, whereas rajasic food causes energy to manifest as a nervousness and aggression. Tamasic is any food that makes a person less focused and less energized. Sattvic food includes fresh fruits, fresh fruit juices, land and sea vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds, etc. Rajasic food includes spicy and salty preparations like pickles, alcohol, vegetables like onion or garlic. Tamasic food is any processed food, fermented food or junk food. Next slide, please. So these are the 8 aspects of a food that are mentioned in our classics. The first one is a prakriti, which is the inherent qualities of the substances. For example, black gram is heavy to our digest, whereas green gram is light to our digest. Next is karan, which is a method of a processing of the food substances. We take a simple example of a rice. When it is washed properly, soaked properly and cooked well, it is light in nature. The same rice becomes heavy when we do not soak it properly and when it is not cooked properly. So here comes the role of a current. So the whole world is after the discussion whether a white rice is good or a brown rice is good. But it is all about a current, which is the processing of the food. The next is a sanyog. Sanyog means a combination of different food substances. Let's take a very simple example. Honey and a ghee. Both have excellent properties mentioned in the classics when taken individually. But when we are combine them together, they act like a poison. Another example is a fish and a milk. If taken together, they contribute to our various skin disorders. Next slide, please. Rashi. So it is advised to take food in the right quantity. But what is the right quantity for you? So hypothetically, we should divide our stomach into 4 quadrants. The 2/4 quadrant is reserved for solid foods, 1/4 is reserved for a liquid diet, and the remaining 1/4 should be left empty for the proper movement of the food. Next slide. Desh. We can understand that in a winter season, our digestive fire is excellent. So in this situation, we can take a heavy diet. It will cause no harm. Carl, let's take a simple example of a curd. When it is taken in the afternoon, it is fine. But when it is taken in the night, it is strictly contraindicated in our classics. Na naktama dandhi bhunjita. Upyog sanstha. It refers, next slide. Upyog sanstha. It refers to various rules that one should keep in mind before consuming a food, like the food should be warm and freshly cooked. So it is there in the Bhagavad Gita that a food should be consumed within 48 minutes of its cooking. The food should be in a proper quantity and it should be consumed only after the digestion of a previous meal. And the person should not eat food too fast or too quick, and they should eat with a self-awareness and a proper concentration on the food. Next slide. Upayokta. Previous slide, please. Previous slide. Previous slide. Okay, the last important factor is upayokta, the person who consumes a food, and it is very important. For example, if you take a mushroom, it causes no harm, and when your friend is taking a mushroom, it causes a food allergy. So why is it that? It is because of the prakriti. Conclusion, if we are talk about a future scope, then nowadays concept of a personalized nutrition is very much in trends. But you must be surprised to know that it is there mentioned in our classics centuries ago. Different food substances as per a doshic constitution of the body are described in the classics. Next slide. Another application of a food sciences is in a nutritional psychiatry. Now we all know that the mental disorders are caused due to a disbalance of a sattva, raj and tam, which are a three gun. Corresponding to these gunas, there are different types of a food with sattvic, rajasic and a tamasic. So by choosing a food wisely, that is to consume more sattvic food, we can balance these three gunas in our body. Next slide please. Therapeutic nutrition. India is a home to a 315 million people with a hypertension and a 101 million with a diabetes, according to the study led by a ICMR. No doubt these two can be managed effectively with a healthy eating habits. Next slide. I can't control everything in my life, but I can control what I put in my body. With these words, thank you for a patient listening.
Thank you, Shweta, for your nice explanation on Ashtavida Ahara. And Aman Singhal, so concept of food intake and the prevailing lifestyle disorders.
Traya Namaha. Good morning, respective dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. I am Dr. Aman Singhal, PG Scholar, All India Institute of Ayurveda. Next slide. Today I am here to discuss you about the topic, concept of food intake and the prevailing lifestyle disorders. Under this topic, I will be discussing about these three subtopics: concept of food intake in Ayurveda, brief introduction of lifestyle disorders, and we will discuss that how Ayurveda will help in preventing lifestyle disorders. Next slide. Firstly, concept of Ahar in Ayurveda. As we all know, it is quoted in our text that Sarvam Dravya Panch Bhautikam Asminarthe. Every living and non-living beings in this universe are composed of 5 basic elements, the Panch Mahabhutas, namely earth, prithvi, water, fire, air and ether. So, these Panch Mahabhut components of ingested food nourishes their respective tissue elements in the body. Ahar is the best of all medicines and is considered one of the 3 upstams, that is Ahar, Nidra and Brahmacharya. The Ahar and Vihar lifestyle, which are congenial or compatible to the channel's constitution, are termed as Pathya, and which is non-congenial is termed as Apathya. Next slide. The preventive and curative aspects of Ayurveda revolve around a central theme of Pathya, Ahar and Vihar. Ayurveda emphasizes, even it is very beautifully described in our text, that how to take appropriate food, how to prepare food, combinations of food, methods of cooking, storage of food, eating atmosphere, hygiene, and Ashtavida Vidhi Visheshayatana. Next please. These are the basic Ayurvedic dietary guidelines which are mentioned in our text in Charak, Shushruta and Ashtang. Intake of food at in time, that is Kale Bhojan. Food intake as per suitability, which is suiting to one personality or to the Prakriti, that is Satamya Bhojan. Food intake as per the Prakriti of individual, Hita Bhojan. Take care of proper hygiene, Shuchi Bhojan. Intake of food which is unctuous, Snigdha Bhojan. Intake of food when it is warm, Ushna Bhojan. Intake of food which is easy to digest, that is Laghu. While eating, concentrate on food and the process of eating and have interest in food, Tanmana Bhojan. Next. Eat food having 6 taste components. So we have to take food which is Shadras Yukta. Food should be ingested calmly, neither too slow nor too fast. Na ati drut vilambita. Food should be taken without laughing and talking. Ajalpan and ahasan. Food should be taken in proper quantity as per Agni and Bal of the individual, which can vary from person to person. Mutravat Bhojan. Matravat Bhojan. One should take food only when previous food is digested. Jina Ashniyat. As it is quoted in our Ashtang Hirday, that Brahm Murat Utishchati शरीर चिंताम निवृत्ते कृष्णोच विदिस्तता. तो वहाँ शरीर चिंताम निवृत्ते जो शब्द आया वो इसीलिए आया है. यू हैव टू लुक दैट प्रीवियस फूड इज डाइजेस्टेड और नॉट. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. Ahar Vidhi Visheshayatan. As Dr. Shweta has explained them very well, so we will not take your time again to explain these, but it includes Prakriti, Karan, Samyog, Rashi, Desh, Kal, Upyog Sanstha and Upyogat. Next please. And now in present scenario, what and how all we are eating today is like pizza, burger, cakes, and our posture, like we are having food while lying on the bed, while watching TVs, while having some phone and everything. Next please. Now, how can we select our diet? how conventionally we are selecting our diet and what is mentioned in our Ayurvedic text. So I have made a comparison between that. Why we eat? In conventional, we mainly think about personal preference, habits, body image like zero figure or anything, and emotional eating is there. But in Ayurvedic text, it is mentioned to take in pran to live. As it is quoted that जीने के लिए खाओ, खाने के लिए ना जियो. And nutritional element, we look into calories, but in Ayurveda we mainly concentrate on Panch Mahabhutas. Then our focus of taking food is counting calories from different food groups. But in Ayurveda we think about how the body processes what we eat, which is mainly based on Jatragni, Dhatwagni, and in conventional system the importance is given to caloric value, but in Ayurveda it is given to individual constitution. How we balance our diet? In conventional system we balance food ingredients like proteins, carbohydrates, and in Ayurvedic nutrition it is based on Prakriti. Dietary recommendations same as food, based on food groups like proteins, carbohydrates, how much quantity to take. But in Ayurveda it is based on taste, Shadrasas. So our goal in conventional system is you are what you eat, and in Ayurvedic system it is you are what you digest. Next please. Now lifestyle. The term lifestyle denotes the interests, behaviors and behavioral orientation of an individual. It denotes the way people live. It reflects an individual's attitude, values or outlook towards life. Next please. So our lifestyle is continuously changing. We adopt very unhealthy habits. There are changing food patterns due to stress and even westernization. So it is the time so we should look, and lifestyle should be well coordinated with rational thinking and practical outlook. Next. Lifestyle diseases. Lifestyle diseases are also known as non-communicable diseases. These are the diseases that appear to increase in frequency as countries become industrialized and lifespan increases. Lifestyle diseases takes years to develop, and if occurred once it is very difficult to cure them. Next. These are the common lifestyle diseases: obesity, diabetes, nephritis, COPD, cancer, stroke, heart disease, liver cirrhosis. Next. These are the lifestyle diseases mentioned in Ayurveda. Our Ayurveda text said that kalarth karmanam yogo hin mithyati matraka samyak yogesh vigyo rog arogya ek karanam. Ayurveda describes the main etiological factors of all the diseases: hin yoga, mithya yoga or ati yoga of kal, earth and karma. And mithya arvya leads to vitiation of agni, that will lead to diseases: roga sarve api mandagno. Next. These are the articles published in respected journals about the importance of diet in prevention of lifestyle disorders. Next please. Now discussion. Lifestyle diseases mainly results from the factors like unhealthy diet, faulty food habits, lack of exercise, disturbance in sleep-awake cycle. Also having food in improper time and in improper quantity, and also taking more quantity of junk food disrupts normal digestion process. In Ayurveda, our acharyas have mentioned everything like how to prepare food, how to eat, etc. very beautifully. It has also been advised to take food as suitable to Prakriti, constitution of particular person, age, habitat, etc. Our lifestyle is indicative of the behavioral patterns we adopt to live our lives. Next please. Urbanization and modern lifestyle leads to improper eating habits. Poor diet ultimately leads to weakened immune system, and various metabolic disorders will ultimately give rise to many lifestyle diseases. Unhealthy habits are acquired over longer period of time. Ideally, we should not wait to fall sick before we make changes in these patterns. So it is the need of the hour to modify our lifestyle and to follow proper dietary rules according to Ayurveda, Ahar Vidhi Visheshayatan and dietetic rules in order to prevent lifestyle diseases. As it is well quoted, prevention is always better than cure. Swasthya Ayush is the foremost objective of Ayurveda. So we should live a healthy life where we eat a balanced diet, exercise and stay fit, and avoid habits that are injurious to our health, so that we don't have to bear the unnecessary consequences that develop in the form of lifestyle diseases. Thank you. Next.
Explained regarding lifestyle disorders. Now we have concluded the session, and Dr. Sujata Madam will give her valuable opinion on the speakers.
Good evening all. Good evening dignitaries. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Venkateshwarlu for his extensive lecture on proctology, and he shared his valuable clinical experience. Thank you, sir. And first presenter, Dr. Divya Bharati, Dr. Divya Bharati, and she explains about millets. Our finance minister Finance Minister
Wellness Expo
declared 2023 as a millet year, and extensively about millets she explained very well. And next speaker, Sweta Kanwar, and Ahara Vidhi Visheshatan, she explained very well. And in Bhagavad Gita also, Ahara is called as a Vaishajyam, Mahavaishajyam. And she explained about Ahara, and give references in Gita and all. It is very nice. And next speaker, Aman Singh, Dr. Aman Singh. He extensively talk on concepts of Ahara in Ayurveda, and it is very nice. And vocal for local foods, our Priya PM advocated to encourage traditional food of the people, people of India, and he declared as a food, as a khichdi, as a national food. So it's a very nice session, scientific session. Thank you, Arundal.
Now participation certificate and memento will given by Kishan sir and madam. So first is Shweta Tanwar. Sir, మీరు కూడా రండి. Thank you for your presentation. For your nice presentations, very informating and regarding food. Madam. For coming, Madam and Venkat sir, please. The participation winner.
Good evening to all. Three presentations are very nice presentations. Participation is more important than winning. First initially, first prize goes to Sweta. Okay, thank you.